Hey everyone, if these twisted family stories hit you hard, please smash that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss the next one. Thanks for watching. The message arrived on a Tuesday morning in late October, the kind of gray, drizzling day that makes Dublin feel like it's holding its breath before winter really bites. I was in the kitchen of our semi-detached house in Rathgar, waiting for the kettle to boil when my phone buzzed on the granite countertop. A notification from Fiona, my wife of 23 years. The photo loaded slowly on the old screen. A cruise ticket. Balcony suite on the MSC Virtuosa. 2 passengers. Departure from Southampton, 15-day Mediterranean itinerary. Total cost, €29,850, below the image. Her text, booked with our retirement fund for me and my real soulmate. Don't fight it, Patrick. It's over. I stared at the words until they blurred. Our retirement fund. The one we'd built together since 2002. Every overtime shift I took at the shipyard in Ringsend. Every weekend I spent rewiring houses instead of watching the kids play football. Every time Fiona said, "We have to save for the future," we'd called it the dream jar back then. Joked that one day we'd sail to Santorini, drink wine at sunset, pretend we were young again. Now she had used it to buy tickets for herself and someone else. I didn't scream. I didn't throw the phone. I just set it down carefully, as if it were made of glass. Then I walked upstairs to our bedroom, her bedroom now, I supposed, and opened the wardrobe. Her side was half empty. The suitcase she always used for holidays was gone. So were half her clothes, her jewelry box, the framed photo of us on the cliffs of Maher from our 10th anniversary. She'd left 3 days earlier for what she called a weekend with friends in Galway. I hadn't questioned it. I never did. I sat on the edge of the bed and let the silence press in. The house smelled of damp wool and the lavender candles she liked to burn when she was stressed. Outside, the rain tapped steadily on the Valix window in the roof. I thought about our children. EFA 21, studying architecture in Edinburgh. Cillian 18, in his first year at UCD. They'd be home for Christmas in 7 weeks. What would I tell them? I thought about my father, dead 12 years now. He'd warned me when I married Fiona at 24. "She's ambitious, lad. Make sure she stays on your side." I hadn't listened. I picked up the phone again. Opened the banking app. The joint retirement account or dream jar was down to €1,247.43. I logged into my personal account. The one I'd quietly opened 5 years ago after Fiona started complaining about my boring job at the engineering firm. I'd been putting away a little each month. Nothing dramatic. Just enough that she wouldn't notice. €87,000. Enough for a small flat in Clontarf, maybe. Enough to start over. But I wasn't ready to start over yet. I wanted her to feel what I'd felt the moment that photo loaded, the slow, creeping realization that the person you trusted most had been planning your replacement. I closed the app and went downstairs. The kettle had boiled and cooled again. I made tea anyway, strong, 2 sugars. The way my mother used to make it when things went wrong. Then I started planning. First I called our solicitor, Brendan. We'd used him for the house purchase and the kids' trusts. He owed me a favor after I helped him with a boat engine last summer. "Patrick," he said when he picked up, "everything all right?" "I need advice," I said. Quietly, he listened without interrupting. When I finished, he exhaled slowly. "You've got options," he said. "But if you want to play this smart, we need to move carefully. No rash moves." I agreed. Next, I called Aoife. She answered on the second ring. "Dad, everything okay?" I told her the truth. Not all of it. Just enough there was a long pause. Then she said, "Mom texted me yesterday. Said she was going on a cruise. Didn't mention you, I know. Are you okay?" "I'm getting there. I love you, Dad." "I love you too, pet." I hung up and stared at the rain streaking the kitchen window. Then I opened my laptop. Fiona had never changed her passwords. She thought I was too old-fashioned to check her email, her calendar, her WhatsApp backups. I found the messages. His name was Ronan. 42. Divorced, worked in finance in the IFSC. They'd been seeing each other. For 11 months, the messages were intimate. Cruel in their casualness, she'd written, "He's a good man, but he's not exciting." "You make me feel alive," he'd replied. "We'll have our own life soon. The money will help." I screenshotted everything. Then I closed the laptop and went for a walk. The streets of Rathger were quiet. Leaves stuck to the pavement in wet clumps. The air smelled of coal, smoke, and wet earth. I walked past the old church where we'd married, past the park where the kids used to play on the swings. I thought about revenge, not the loud kind. Not shouting, not smashing things, the quiet kind, the kind that takes time, the kind that lets someone destroy themselves. I stopped at the small newsagent on the corner and bought a packet of cigarettes. I hadn't smoked since Cillian was born. I lit one anyway. The smoke burned my throat. When I got home, I sat at the kitchen table and wrote a letter. Not to Fiona, to myself, a reminder of who I was before her. Then I burned it in the fireplace. The next few weeks passed in a strange calm. Fiona didn't come home. She texted once, "We need to talk about the house." I replied, "Whenever you're ready." She didn't reply. I went to work. Fixed engines. Came home. Cooked simple meals. Watched rugby on TV. Slept in the spare room. I didn't tell anyone else, not my brothers. Not our friends from the golf club. I waited. Christmas came. Aoife and Cillian arrived on the 23rd. They hugged me tight. Didn't ask about their mother. I cooked the turkey. Made the stuffing the way my mother taught me. Lit the fire. On Christmas Eve, Fiona finally called. "I'm back in Dublin," she said. "Can we meet?" "Tomorrow morning," I said. Here she arrived at 10. Dressed in a new coat, hair freshly colored. Makeup perfect. She looked like someone who'd already moved on. We sat in the living room. The tree lights blinked softly. She didn't sit. She stood by the window. "I'm sorry," she said, "but I'm not coming back." I nodded. "I know." She looked surprised. "I've spoken to Brendan," I said. "We're filing for divorce. No contest." She blinked. "You're not going to fight it?" "No." I handed her a folder. Inside, a copy of the divorce petition, a financial disclosure, and screenshots of the messages. Her face drained of color. You looked?" I did. She sank into the armchair. "Patrick, I said, "Just don't." I stood up. "The retirement fund is gone. I know that. But the house is in my name only. I bought it before we married. You signed it away in the prenup you insisted on 20 years ago? Remember?" She stared at me. "You kept that?" "I kept everything." She started to cry. "I didn't want it to end like this. Neither did I." I walked to the door. "You can keep the cruise tickets," I said. "Enjoy them. I hope he's everything you wanted." I opened the door. She stood there, clutching the folder. "Patrick, please." I looked at her for a moment. I saw the girl I'd met in the pub on Grafton Street all those years ago, laughing, full of life then. I saw the woman who'd spent 23 years slowly pulling away. Goodbye, Fiona. I closed the door. Outside, the snow had started again. Soft, silent flakes drifting down on the streetlights. I walked to the shed at the back of the garden. Inside, under a tarp, was the old wooden boat I'd been restoring for years. A clinker-built yawl. My father's design. I'd never finished it. I pulled the tarp off. The wood smelled of linseed oil and possibility. I picked up a plane and started, shaving the GUNWALETUT slow, steady strokes. The snow kept falling. Inside the house, I heard the front door open and close again. Aoife and Cillian came out to the shed. "Dad?" Aoife said softly. I looked up. They stood in the doorway, snow in their hair. "We're staying," Cillian said. "We're not going anywhere." I nodded. Then I handed them each a piece of sandpaper. "Help me with this." They smiled. We worked in silence as the snow blanketed Dublin, no grand revenge, no courtroom drama, just the slow, patient work of rebuilding and the quiet knowledge that some people leave, and some stay, and the ones who stay are the ones who matter. The boat would be finished by spring. We'd catch it on the Liffey, and when we did, I'd raise a glass to the life I'd almost lost, and the one I'd found again.